Welcome to another episode of Square Table Conversations where we talk about topics that matter and give you our take on the topic. So, today we are going to talk about work life balance for women.
Nowadays, we see that more and more women are being part of the workforce. We see them hold very big positions in big companies, and in a household, before it was just a man. We would see just men going to work, but now women are also a lot of them are part of the workforce, and companies also want to promote diversity, so they try to encourage equal number of men and women who are working in the company. But we see that the workplace is not the work timings are not designed for a woman. Sometimes it becomes difficult to manage household work and a job, because the workplace has changed but the households have not yet changed. We still expect women to do household work. There's not been such a shift where even men also start working. It's not expected. There are few men obviously who voluntarily do it, but it's not. We don't see it everywhere, so it becomes a little difficult for women to manage both work in office and at home. So, what do you think are the other challenges that women face because they have to balance work and home?
Yeah, it's always a woman is always put in a situation where she has to choose one. It's either she chooses work or she chooses to manage the household. It's not designed in such a way that she can balance both. And even if a woman tries really hard and she manages to balance both, it's always something like something happens at work, and in case she loses her temper, they always tend to say, oh, she's showing all her tension from her family, and like, maybe she had something going on there and she's showing all that here. They always blame that a woman like that. They don't say that for a man. For a man, it's like, okay, maybe he has something going on at work, and that's why that's his temperament. But for a woman, they always blame that, okay, she has this much going on, she has and that she's showing that at her workplace, she's showing that on her juniors. That's how it's always portrayed. So I think that's one of the challenges that a woman faces.
Another challenge I feel is that if someone, when a woman is joining a workforce as well, even in the initial stages, they are asked, like, what are your future plans? It is asked in a very subtle way to gauge, like, maybe when they'll be taking a maternity leave, or whether they'll be joining back after that, or people like tend to think twice before offering a role to a woman. Some places, not all places. So that is also another challenge. And even when she gets back to work after her maternity leave or something, they, like, she's always looked at in a way that, okay, she has not updated her skills, or we may have to spend extra to train her or something. People look at it in that way. At least they used to, uh, like, at least like 2 years back or something. Now it has slightly changed, is what I feel.
Companies are nowadays they are giving that maternity leave for women. That is there. The policies are there, but the thing is, when it comes to performance evaluation and everything, they would obviously a person who has worked for those 6 months and would have an edge over a woman who has taken a maternity leave. Now women have that option that they can take a leave during the maternity period, and they can stay at home and come back to work, but they'll be still behind in the work performance evaluation and everything. That 6 months will not be counted. That acts as a disadvantage for them. And another thing is, I feel, women have their a man works according to the sun. They'll be active during the day, and then they they rest during the night. But for a woman, her mood changes along. They follow the moon cycle, is what they say.
Throughout the month.
Yeah, throughout the month, their mood changes. There's so many things that they face, and workplaces are more designed the to facilitate a man's this thing.
In a month it's like uh, working for 8 hours a day for a few days is possible. After that, maybe like due to the moons, due to following the moon's cycle, the their creativity aspect or something else is more prominent rather than hustling for the whole day. So that comes in, but in a job all that is not taken into consideration. Only the like how many hours they've worked or every day's productivity is taken into consideration. If like mostly that's how it is designed, but yeah, it caters more to men.
So like you mentioned, even if a woman comes back after the maternity leave, for example, if there's a promotion that's coming up, she's not going to be considered for that. Even though they say, okay, it's a paid leave, she can take that period off. It's gonna be like it could either be a man or another woman who was continuously working that period. They are going to be considered for the promotion. Even though if this lady might be skilled, she might have all the talent that and she's very capable for that the next position. She will not be offered that because this maternity leave will be considered as just time taken off. So yeah, it is going to be a disadvantage for her in her career in the long run.
We have come up to that stage where she still has a job after getting back from the leave, but she doesn't have an edge
Yeah,
to get that
yeah.
promotion or that next
Mm.
thing.
But I have a question. Is that the same case with the guys? Because nowadays it's becoming a little common for guys to take paternity leaves as well. So if even they take around 6 months or something or three,
No, they
I
have
don't think
It's
how
just
many
2 weeks.
it's
two
yeah.
weeks
2 weeks.
paternity
Okay.
leave is given.
So that's not a problem for them, I guess. It's like a long vacation.
Two
Yeah.
weeks is that's hardly anything, right? Like, someone could
So you can't extend a paternity leave, say it's a single parent. So what in that case?
That there are stuff that are coming up, policies that are coming up where I've seen even for adoption they or if they have like a surrogate kid, then also they give 6 months maternity leave. But paternity leave has still not yet.
No, I'm
There-
asking
there
about
no-
what about the single dad?
that that
I don't think there
there
are
is-
any.
So
I
that
think
there are
that's
more
a-
challenges for a
that's a
single
very
dad than a woman.
that's
That is.
I think that's still a very small minority in the whole picture. So I don't think there are policies yet
Yeah,
to
because again there, this I don't know. Maybe the mindset of the people comes into play.
Yeah.
There are very few companies who have in detail policies like these.
Huh.
Like even for single parents or
Right.
for those who have adopted or even paternity leave for that matter.
Hmm.
Nowadays paternity leave is coming up. But apart from that, all of these small things or big things we don't know.
Yeah. Small
So,
things because we haven't spoken
we
about
haven't
it. Yes.
spoken. So like very few of them have minute like proper rules for all of these things as well. They don't have policies in place still for these things. When we look at roles like sales roles as well, there are women are not considered in certain industries for certain products. Women are not considered for such roles because it has been male dominated all these years. And even if they are considered, some companies treat it like some CSR initiative or something, and they just take some women, maybe as a, substitute employee or something because they are doing well. The company is doing well. They have the money, so they just take some women as employees, and they don't really uh, give them real work to do. They just make them sit there in the office and say, okay, we are paying you some salary. And the women who get selected for such roles don't uh, really grow in that because they don't get real work experience. They're just taken to show that the company is the pioneer in taking women for male dominated roles or something. Even that is a challenge for women in
Yeah, again,
workforce.
because I think that comes up because of the physical aspects of a woman.
Yeah.
Now we just spoke about how we work on the woman, the moon cycle, and guys go by the normal, huh?
Yeah.
Uh, Maybe that's right. I mean, we have the time of the month very often, but sales is a field that has to be on the go. It has to happen every single day for the company to keep running. Maybe that's why it was mostly male dominated before, and nowadays women who don't find, you know, their cycles more challenging, they're open to doing such work. I think i think they're okay with the job.
I think whatever women are the kind of jobs that we have. One is usually where women are naturally good at. There are few industries where it's female dominated, like something like you might hear like modeling. The first thing that comes to your mind is a woman, not a man. But there are other industries where it is male dominated, and there are fewer women. And nowadays, actually, women are moving towards the domains where it is male dominated. So whatever is the female dominated industries, you can see it's a little more flexible. The timings are more flexible and easier for a woman to adjust. But where it is a male dominated industry, uh, it is according to they have, it's more strict and rigid how it is supposed to be for a man, and that is where women face problems. uh, so there are few changes that could be made there now that more and more women are working, so that it's easier for women also and more accommodating.
I have a question. What do you feel about women working at higher posts, like, say, the role of running a company as CEOs, COOs? um, do you think they're more uh, practical that way, or is it still seen as a man would do a better job than a woman?
It's again very subjective. It depends from person to person,
Hmm.
but uh, on a whole, like when you take like a majority, we have seen more male uh,
And why is the case?
CEOs.
There must be a reason why people, even when a promotion comes up, they think a lot before putting a woman, but they wouldn't for a man. Even like less a man who has less expertise in a certain field is okay being promoted to the CEO levels, but a woman, they see that as one of the reasons. And why do you think that's a thing? Do you think being a multitasker is always, say, a positive aspect for a human being, or because I mean I've seen a lot of resumes that say I'm a multitasker, but do you think that works? Doesn't matter the gender, but I don't know, because when it comes to deciding for a company, you'll have to be very rational, practical, and you have to take decisions on the go. You can't have an emotional connect with anything when you take such decisions. And I think over the years, because men have been heading the uh, industries or fields, it's always been that okay, they know it doesn't matter. They just don't take it to their heart. They just say this was necessary, so we had to do it, and they let it go. But with women, we have we give it an emotion. Every single thing has emotion to it. So now, if you have to let go somebody, again there is an emotional, there's a friction that comes up, and I think as women, even we'll agree that we carry it. Some people carry it to the grave. That's how it is. It's long, but men, maybe it's because of their psychology is working that way, or maybe they've been built that way that they don't think about. Even if you fired your own friend, it's only at work. After work, you're all okay. So people want such kind of leaders. They do not want them to take emotional decisions
I
for the sake of the company. Again,
it is
not personally, but professionally. That's how. Maybe I think all the women who are wanting to head to that higher position need to keep this in mind. And I understand you spoke about how family life also affects them and all of that. Understood. But there are women who don't mix personal and professional lives. And those are really good examples for leaders because they are very practical in their approach and they do things for the company and its growth. So I think that's how it should be seen, and not that it's a gender war and women are not led to do higher position work. The reason is very simple. It's this:
Yeah.
if you build that in you, that you're not affected by all of this, then you're as equal as a man for that position. So
There are I have heard a woman entrepreneur speak about this. She was saying that like while building her company, she also failed as many times as a man would fail while building his own company. So she was saying that she noticed that there is a difference between how a man would
handle.
handle the company and how she would, and she actually relied on her emotions to start that company, to come up with the products or to make it successful.
Right.
So there are certain industries and companies, as she said, where women thrive naturally.
Yeah.
So maybe like focusing on those things. If like obviously if you're interested in something else, if you feel like that is in your nature to do well in that particular industry, then they have to swim against the tide and they have to make their position over there. But uh, if they are good at a certain thing and that comes naturally to them, it will naturally not stress them out or like later maybe accuse them of taking bad decisions or something. They should focus on their strengths, and maybe like we can see like there are many entrepreneurs and many business women who are in the higher positions,
Yeah.
because they focused on their strengths and they were naturally good at what they were doing. It didn't actually stress them out in the long run.
I think because the system of business, like over a period of time, men have handled it. It is there's this notion that you have to be very practical over there.
This is how business should
Yeah,
work.
and that is why it is so brutal. But if women over a period of time, if women take the charge and if they bring in that emotional touch to a business, we can see the world changing, the world of business. There might be a change over there.
It needs to be in such a way that everybody comes to the same level. So that is, it shouldn't be equality. It should be equity.
It's like both of them must be given equal respect, but for the kind of strengths and weaknesses that they have.
Yeah.
If you like this video, please do like, share, and subscribe to our channel, and do show us your support.